Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Your host, Golden Zulu. So today we have one interesting question which reads, say, solve the equation that. So basically, when you have been given a kind of any equation, you need to identify what kind of equation it is. So we have identified to say, no, this one is an exponential equation. Why? Because when you know for sure that 9 times 2x cannot be multiplied under any circumstance unless maybe we deal with something further. So what you do for you to solve any given exponential equation, you need to check for clues. Remember, they have given you a clue here to be 2x. So what we'll do, we will break this one down with the laws of indices. You know for sure that under indices in multiplication, if the bases are the same, you add the powers. So what I'm trying to say here is we have 2 to the power 2x multiplied by 2 to the power 3 plus 1 multiplied by equal to 9 times 2 to the power x. So that's the equation that we have in its actual sense, where you know for sure that this can be broken down to become 2x to the power 2. They are just the same. Remember, this is one of the laws of indices which is also there. Then remember now 2x has become common, so you can just select 2x. I will use my initial, I love my name. You can also use yours. So I will use G. So we know for sure that 2x now has become equal to G, meaning where there is 2x, we will basically replace with G. The reason why we are dealing with this, we know to say this equation has become too complex for mankind to solve. So what we'll do, we'll break it down a little bit for us to find the value of G. Then we can now compute this again to find the value of X. So we know for sure that this will become, say 2 to the power 3 is 8 plus 1, and 2 to the power X is the same as G. Now you know to say these can be multiplied. Something special, right? Yeah. So this times that is 8G squared plus 1. This times this is basically 9G, where you get to group what are referred to as like terms and what is now being seen by the human eye. So what we are basically seeing now is the quadratic equation. So now that we have the quadratic equation, we can use the factorization method where you find the product, sum, and factor. Where the sum is -9, the product is basically 8. And you have the two numbers to be -8, -1. So now that you have that, we will have 8G squared minus 8G minus G plus 1 equal to 0. So basically here we will factorize what is common, and what is common here is 8G. And we have G minus 1 open bracket G minus 1 equal to 0. So basically here we have 8 minus 1. Remember, we only pick what is outside and put it in one bracket, and our answer here is 8G. So G is equal to 1 over 8 is one of the answers. Remember, this is just an equation which we have solved here. And we have the last one to be G equal to 1. So remember, the question is telling us to find the value of X. We do not have G. So what we will do again, we will re-equate, where you notice that the value of G now is 1 over 8. So we can just rewrite this to be 2 to the power X is the same as, remember, we can rewrite this in a negative index and it will become 2 to the power 3 -1. So remember, 2 to the power 3 is the same as 8. So now we have 2x is equal to 2 to the power -3, where this and that can cancel, and x is equal to -3. And we also have 2x is equal to, remember, the value of G is 1. And we know for sure that any number to the power 0 is 1. And x is either 0 or -3. So this is how you tackle such kind of questions. Your host, Golden Zulu.